Okay, so on to the last track for the day in Sammy's Rock Empire Fridays, where it's obviously not Friday, and actually this one is rock. So at least it's rock. It's just not Friday, but for those of you who are only joining us now, the reason why we're doing Rock Empire Fridays on a Wednesday is because we're just doing a catch-up, because I've been away for 2 weeks and I'm just trying to catch up on a couple of the extended series and one other series, the Campbell Craven series, which I'm going to be also catching up. And so yeah, the next 2 weeks are just to catch up, and we'll probably get back to our normal schedule by next week, but I'm using the next 2 weeks to catch up before Alley Anthems. Alley Anthems is going to be absolutely awesome. You guys are going to love that. It's kind of become one of those incognito series that not many people know about. I didn't promote it, right? It's kind of the regulars requested this series behind the scenes, but you guys are going to love it. You're going to see. Anyway, let's rock and roll. This over here is 10 years. We've reacted to 10 years before, a couple of their tracks, and they are pretty good. I've never heard this one though. This is I Remember. Let's rock and roll. Let's wrap this up. Let's go. Nothing is what it seems when our dreams wake up and vanish into the air. Yeah, because then you're cast into absolute chaos, right? It's very important to also be realistic about certain things and realistic about your dreams, and to stick to truth and not delusion at the end of the day. Because then your dreams, if your dreams become this idea that it's just all this airy-fairy bullshit, but with no action, no plan in place, none of that type of shit, and no application of yourself or of your ability to learn something and apply that, your dreams are just going to vanish. Essentially, they don't exist. They're fugazi, essentially. So I like what he's saying there. I'm hanging on by a thread, just a memory left for dead, and gone forever. Gone forever. Can I survive? Burning minds, blinded by the bright side that I remember. I always find it interesting when they say that in the song, like, I'm hanging on, I'm about to lose myself forever, can I survive? And they just happen to survive. Human beings can take a hell of a lot. Just when you think that this is literally the limit of what you can take, you can probably take 3 times more than that. And then when you hit a new limit, you're like, yeah, I can't take any more than that. It is crazy how much human beings can actually take, how much you can actually handle. Never seems like that, never seems so. But the moment you are thrown into it, you have no other option but to handle it. And to your great surprise, you're able to do it, right? It's just that mental block. It's your mind just getting in your way. I like what he's, I like the actual song so far. Only a copy of a compromised creation. Ooh, that's a fucking power line over there. We are not what we intend or envision. We are just a copy of what is it? What did he say about copy of something creation? A copy of a compromised creation. This is the crazy thing, because this line plays into all of people's uniqueness and all of people's like sort of identities today, right? That it just so happens that everyone that's being themselves happens to be themselves like everybody else. It's like the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? I'm being myself. I'm just expressing my true self. And my true self just happens to line up with every other sheep on the internet. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like ridiculous. It's crazy that we don't see that. So it's someone else's creation. It's a compromised creation. But yet we sit there and we say, oh no, this is trendy. It's a trendified thing. So I'm going to adhere to this trend because I want to be part of it. And then I'm going to tell the world that I'm unique. but you're not being unique, because if you just remain you, who you are, That's your uniqueness. But the problem is that we have a generation of kids today that are not being unique. They are telling you that they are. They are telling you that this is my true self, but their true self just happens to mirror society at large. Do you know what I mean? You're not standing out from anybody. You're not standing out. You just so happen to believe, feel, think, and be like every other person on the internet. Is that really who you are? I guess that's just the way it is. I mean, it's the natural sort of order of how kids are, right? They see what they see, and they think that, we had that when we were kids. Just today, I think it kind of feels like it's more on steroids to a certain degree. Do you know what I mean? And it's got more of... The sad part about that is it's more narcissistic, more nihilistic, and it's more self-entitled. And that's very destructive, right? And there's nobody to put those checks and balances in place. There's no responsible adults that are sitting there. Oh, no, there are, but I'm saying the majority of adults today are playing into, I'm just going to be your best friend and let you be whatever you want to be and do whatever you want to do, and then realize that at the age of 18, their children are drug addicts with no prospects or future. And you think to yourself, oh, how did this happen? Well, how did it happen? It happened because your children don't actually know what life is about, and you allowed them to just go out there and do whatever they want. You told them, go out into the abyss and just be whoever you want to be. No guardrails, right? Go be free because I'm your friend, essentially. And then they'll end up paying for it. I think that it's important for them to be themselves, but there needs to be some sort of guardrail placed on their lives so that they don't get into this position where they are so confused with who they are because all they're doing is mimicking a sick society. Anyway, carrying on.
A compromise creation, always trying to find paradise and a destination. Nothing's what it seems. We're my dreams wake up and vanish into the air. I'm hanging on by a thread, just a memory left for dead and gone forever. Gone forever. Can I survive? Burning lights, blinded by the bright side. But I remember. We vanish into the
I like that sound.
I'm hanging on by a thread, just a memory left for dead and gone forever.
Fire. I like the tempo of the song. This is fire. It's kind of lights a fire underneath you. I like this, right? It's very, very cool. I like the messaging in the song as well. It's great.
Gone forever. Can I survive? Burning lights, blinded by the bright side. But I remember. We vanish into the air.
Very cool. I like these kind of introspective songs, right? Because these songs are very relevant and very relatable to every single person. When you listen to these kind of songs, you start to ask yourself questions and you start to look at yourself in a certain way. And music actually quite important. Music like this is quite important because music does drive the culture. It does drive people in society, and it drives a lot of people's motivations. It drives a lot of people's moods. It's very, very influential, right? So when you create music like this, right? And outside of the hedonistic garbage, it actually could be the light switch to somebody completely changing their life. It's crazy. You know how many times I've heard people, it's like, I listened to the song and it changed my life. I listened to the song and it saved me. I listened to that thing, right? Because people hold and cling on to every word that people say in songs, specifically if they really love the artist, and they take those and they apply them to themselves, and then it gets amplified by the actual sound, by beautiful sound as well, and it just gives you something to inject into your life that gives you a further aspect of hope and a further view at your life again. So music like this is very important. That's why we should never stray away from creating this kind of music and propping up this kind of music, because without it, what you're left with is Lil Nas X, Cardi B, and all of that shallow garbage, superficial crap. So that doesn't add anything to your life. It just tells you what you don't have. Do you know what I mean? Haha, look at me. You don't have this. Fucking loser, peasant. You know what I mean? That adds nothing to nobody. You guys let me know what you think down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.